Alecia, thanks for sitting down with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We've been having some really fun conversations and some serious conversations about what it means to be a woman working for the church. And so I'm really excited to get your perspective and your experience as being a young woman who has chosen to use her gifts and talents working for the Archdiocese of New Orleans, working for the people of God here. So tell me a little bit about your background and kind of what brought you here to be working in ministry.
So a little bit about me. I'm the oldest of four. My mom was a single parent, so we lived with my grandmother, so raised in the church. I entered into the RCIC process when I was 11 years old, so the decision wasn't ours, but it was our parents. And the conversation at growing up, I always asked my mama, why weren't we baptized as children? And my mom always expressed to us it wasn't that it was a choice of ours or hers. She was a single parent trying to work and just make a living for us. So not that it wasn't on there, but when she was going to be able to attend a baptism. So growing up and just being around those parishioners at St. Joseph the Worker Parish, they just encouraged us, and we got into the RCIC process, and we joined, and I'm still there, and I'm still with those same two ladies that pulled my hand and said, hey, won't you come to CCD class? And they encouraged my mom and my grandmother to get us there, and they also put their 2 cents in and always came and picked us up and made sure we were there. So outside of that, my grandmother was a praying woman. I can remember as a child that our treat for saying the rosary at night was wheat thins and strawberry cream cheese. So we were always ready to pray. And in the morning, we would get sent out with the holy oils on our head. We were the only kids at the bus stop with greasy foreheads. And
Are you
serious? Understand that? Yeah.
Your grandmother would actually bless you with the holy oil?
In the morning, we were always, for a couple of days, we were wiping our heads. And I'm like, why do we have to be the only kids at the bus stops with greasy heads? Until, joining and learning more about the faith and understanding why my grandmother would do that. And, she would explain to us all the time, but as kids, you're like, why are you doing this, ma'am?
Right.
So it's been a pleasure. I'm very humbled and growing more in my faith and just learning more about it. I am grateful to be here.
I love that you say, the women who held your hand, brought you to CCD class, and now you're working with them.
Yes, I am.
Now you're one of the women holding hands and dragging people to CCD class.
I am.
So what is it like to be able to have that kind of role, to have that influence with a new younger generation, and for the adults to see you, that this little girl that they watched kind of come up? What does that mean?
For me, it's a surreal experience because my family and my church family actually have always told me, have encouraged me to find a profession where I was with kids or working around kids. And for me, I've always wanted to work in the medical field because I've always wanted to work with the elderly. And I always said, well, I want to be a doctor and I want to work with people who are in home health or in hospice. So when I was in college, that's what I was going to work in the medical field. And just coming up, they would always say, well, I think you should be a teacher. Or I think you should go and
always have influence.
Go to Loyola and take up something in pastoral care and something. I said, well, I can do that maybe as a minor or something on the side. So it's definitely surreal for me. The organization that I'm in with my church, those same two ladies are at my side all the time. So they're with me there. They're with me in catechism class with the CCD teacher, as a CCD teacher. So they are very influential in my life, especially since I lost my grandmother five years ago. So I don't think they understand what they do for me. So I look to them a lot. So it's definitely, for me, surreal. The experience in itself has made me like, aha to myself. Like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you've been supposed to be doing. And I'm grateful. I don't know how else to explain how grateful I am that I am able to experience the impact that I have on young people's lives and the impact that I have on the adult lives that I encounter too. Because just a simple thank you means a lot, and just a simple like, you're doing a great job. And I'm thinking, to me, I just feel like I'm just doing what I was called to do. And to them, it means more than anything. So
when you talk to your CCD class and you tell them that you also work with the archbishop. And what do they think? Do they realize that women can work with the archbishop? Do they realize that young women, I'm pointing to myself, young women can work for the church?
Well, I teach 6th and 7th grade classes, and I always tell people that they are still in the stage where I guess they're trying to figure out life and just trying to figure out things as they go. So they, to them, the archbishop is the pope. So I'm still trying to make them understand that I don't work with the man that's in Rome. Right. I work with the man that lives right there on Walmsley.
Yes, much closer.
So if you can come past St. Joseph working, that'd be great. But to me, I'm like the big sister. So they confide in me. So most times, the first 5 minutes of class, we'll talk about just regular stuff. They want to be able to vent, just de-stress in their lives. And then we get into the faith. And a lot of them, they don't know the history about our church personally, St. Joseph Worker. So I take that opportunity to talk about where we came from as a church, because we have a long history right there on the West Bank. And I share that experience with them. And then once we go there, for myself as a young person in this faith with just what's going on in the world right now, it's a struggle for me. So sometimes it's hard for me to go to them and say, well, hey, this is why you should be Catholic. This is why you should be a proud Black. And this is why you should be proud Black and Catholic. So sometimes it's hard for me to proclaim that and profess that to them. But that's why I'm reminded every Wednesday why I do it when I'm in front of them. So they remind me why I do it. They remind me why I'm Black and Catholic.
So in your attempts to witness to them, they're actually witnessing to you.
Yes.
That's amazing. And you bring so much joy so often into, this conversation is really fun. You're always fun to talk to, Alecia, but you bring so much joy into what you do. And do you find, you talked about, obviously there are struggles, there are challenges, but do you find that it makes it a little bit easier when you come with those kinds of perspectives, when you try to find the joy and the humor and the fun in the faces of the kids and the adults that you work with?
It's a 50-50 because, flesh is weak.
Yeah.
So sometimes sometimes I am in the flesh. So sometimes that's the only thing that's bearing on the heart, the flesh. And then, not that I forget the faith, but sometimes the flesh takes over. So little things remind me. So I can be walking down the hallway in the chancery and Miss Chanel, somebody can just say, hey, good morning, how you doing? You look cute, or I like your outfit today. And I'm just like, thank you. And then the smile comes back because it's like somebody I just passed up in my car didn't have anything, or didn't have the clothes on their back, or didn't have a jacket. So that right there reminded me that, girl, you should be a little bit more grateful.
Grateful. So right, the theme of your...
It is my theme for 2019.
I like that. I like grateful being your theme. My theme is kind. My theme is kind. I'm trying to witness kindness with my kids and with those who are around me, and when I get cut off in traffic and all those things. So
probably should do kind.
Maybe we could share. Maybe we could do kind and grateful together.
I should do kind.
We can witness kind and grateful together as women.
I should definitely do kind when it comes to traffic.
New Orleans is a special place when it comes to traffic.
I'm sorry,
guys. We're like completely off topic, but it's fun to, we have to acknowledge the world we live in, right? We have to acknowledge that we are in challenging times. We have to acknowledge that not every day is a bright and joyful, easy day when you work for the church. God never said it was going to be easy.
No.
To be Catholic. We talk about the eye of the camel. The camel going through the eye of the needle, right? So we are called to do that, but we are also called as much as we can and as often as we can to be that joyful witness, like our synod said. But you have had so many strong women in your life,
yes,
in your whole life and in your faith life, and now you are that strong woman witnessing. What does that mean to you? That you're able to put all of this to work as that strong woman, all of your gifts and talents to work for the people of God.
It's a daily struggle, because even with you saying that, I still have to tell it to myself, because I'm only 28. So it's hard for me to tell myself that I am one of those women that on a daily encourage and pour into me every day. So like little things like this interview, you pour into me. I don't see that. You do. So these different little affirmations for me encourage me. That's what pushes me. So for me, I don't want to cry. But for me,
it's okay.
But strong women, like you said, have always been a part of my daily walk in my life. From my grandmother to my mother to the women in my choir to the women a part of KBC organization. So those women continue to pour in me. They feed me. So the gifts and talents that I have, that God has lent me, because I always tell people, God lent me these talents. He lent me these gifts. So to me, the best way to pay him back is to pay it forward, to give it back to his people, to feed into his people. So on a daily, what I do and how I do it is just the way for me to pay God back. So that's what I'm doing.
I love that. It's just such a simple day by day.
That's it.
Every hour, just giving it back. Alecia, I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank you for your witness. And I want to thank you for, you might not think that, but for always being that joy and that light in the room. Because you always are. So thank you. And I will join you in being grateful if you join me in being kind. But thanks so much for being here.
No, thank you. Thank you.